Welcome to No Hive, online learning community from Kerala. Myself Mitra, AI-based personal assistant of Dr. Prem Shankar. He is our course coordinator. I would like to welcome everyone to Web Scraping and Data Analytics with Python course. In last video we have discussed what is web scraping, why web scraping, and technologies for web scraping. Today we will going to discuss about the Webbrowser Module. The Webbrowser Module provides a high-level interface to allow displaying web pages and web documents to users. In this video tutorial we are going to learn proper usage of the Webbrowser Module and demonstrates how to open web browser with Webbrowser Module in Python. Python has a module called Webbrowser, which allows you to open the web browser from a Python script by simply calling the open function of the module. We use the Webbrowser module's open function can launch a new browser to a specified URL. The Webbrowser open method will open your default web browser with a given URL b. For example, you can enter the following into Python Interactive Shell or Jupyter Notebook. First, we need to import the Python Webbrowser module using the import statement, then call the open function with the URL of the website as an argument. So you can type webbrowser open https wagglelab.com/. This Python script will open the URL https://wagglelab.com with the default web browser of the user's computer. Now we will discuss how to select different web browser. The Webbrowser module by default uses the system default web browser, but by combining the open function with the get function, we can open a different browser installed on the computer. As per the example 1, the given URL will be open with Firefox web browser. The second Python script will open Google Chrome in Linux operating system. If you are using Microsoft Windows, you will have to add the executable path of the web browser to the Windows path variable in order to get function to work. This is about the only thing the Webbrowser module can do. Even so, the open function does make some interesting things possible. For example, it's tedious to copy a street address to system and bring up a map of it on Google Maps. Now you could take a few steps out of this task by writing a simple Python script to automatically launch the map in your browser using the contents of your text. This way, you only have to copy the address and run the script, and the Google map will be loaded for you. This is what your program does. First step, gets a street address in your program, then opens the web browser and display the Google Maps page. For the address, first you need to figure out what URL to use for a given street address. You can try it manually. When you type https maps.google.com/ in the browser and search for an location address, the address is in the URL. But there's a lot of additional text there as well. Websites often add extra data to URLs to help track visitors or customize sites. But if you try just going to https www.google.com/maps/place/, you'll find that it still brings up the correct page. So your program can be set to open a web browser to https www.google.com/maps/place/ your address string, where your address string is the address you want to map in Google Map. Finally, the given Python code will launch a web browser with the Google Maps URL of given address by calling webbrowser open After running this Python code, a web browser tab will open with map of Kazakutum. While some of the programs you write will perform huge tasks that save you hours, it can be just as satisfying to use a program that conveniently saves you a few seconds each time you perform a common task, such as getting a map of an address. This table compares the steps needed to display a map with and without a Python program. As long as you have a URL, the Webbrowser module lets users cut out the step of opening the browser and directing themselves to a website. Other examples that could use this functionality to do the following: open all links on a page in separate browser tabs. Open the browser to the URL for your local weather. Open several social network sites that you regularly check. We will continue our lessons in next video. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe this YouTube channel. Nandhi Namaskaram.